Hello students, in this lecture we will discuss about group 15 elements. Group 15 elements. The elements which are present in this group are nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. I have written it on the board. You can see group 15 elements. In this group the elements which are present nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. These elements collectively are known as nitrogen family, and these elements are also known as nicogens. Okay, these elements are also known as nicogens. The compounds of these elements are known as niconides. The compounds of these elements are known as niconides. This word has been taken from the Greek word that is nicomix. Nicomix means suffocation. The compounds of these elements cause suffocation. For example, ammonia gas and phosphine gas, when we smell these gases, they cause suffocation. This is a small introduction about a nitrogen family. Now let's discuss about the occurrence of these elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, one by one. The first element is nitrogen. Nitrogen is highly abundant element present in the air in the form of nitrogen gas. In the form of nitrogen gas, it is present by 78% by volume and 75% by mass in the air. Keep in mind, nitrogen is also found in sodium nitrate known as chili saltpeter, and it is also found in potassium nitrate known as Indian chili saltpeter. Okay, these are the rocks which are found in the earth crust. Okay, nitrogen is also found as a proteins present in plants as well as in animals. Okay, always keep in mind, proteins are the nitrogen containing compounds. Proteins are the nitrogen containing compounds. That's why proteins have nitrogen. Now let's discuss about the occurrence of other elements. The next element is phosphorus. Phosphorus is found in the minerals of apatite family. In the minerals of apatite family, the chemical formula for the apatite family is: this is calcium 9, this is phosphate ion whole power 6, and then this is calcium halide. It can be calcium hydroxide also, because X is representing halogens as well as hydroxyl group. Okay, you can see in this chemical formula phosphorus is present. The main component of this apatite family is what? Fluoroapatite. Fluoroapatite. You can see in place of X we place fluorine, then we get the chemical formula for the fluoroapatite. Is the main component. This mineral can also be used for the extraction of fluorine. Okay. Now we have phosphorus is also present in bones, living cells, milk as well as in eggs. That's why phosphorus is considered an important part of living system. Okay, now we talk about the rest of the elements. Then we have arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Okay, these are the less abundant elements, and these elements are found in the form of sulfide. Arsenic sulfide, this is antimony sulfide, and this is bismuth sulfide. These sulfides are considered as chalcophilic because they are having tendency to form ores. That's why they are known as ore forming. Okay, now let's discuss about the physical properties of these elements one by one. We have the physical properties of these group elements. Physical properties. Okay, first physical property is electronic configuration. Electronic configuration. Okay, outermost cell electronic configuration is NS2 and it is NP3, where N value is 2, 3, 4, 5 dot dot. In the outermost cell, total number of electron present 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So valence electron for these elements is what? 5. That's why these group elements can form maximum bond how many? 5. Okay. Now next physical property we have atomic radius. Atomic radius. In case of atomic radius, we have learned as n value increases, as is what? Principal quantum number. As the number of cell increases, number of period increase. Okay, as n value increases, the size of atom increases as well as radius also increases. Okay, radius also increases. This is the general form. Okay, if we talk about the covalent radius, then in case of covalent radius, we can see it follows the trend. As the number of cell increase, size increases and the radius increases. Then we have the trend nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, and this is antimony, and then we have bismuth. But if we talk about ionic radius, in case of ionic radius you need to be careful. Okay, first we have antimony, then bismuth, and then nitrogen, and phosphorus, and then we have arsenic. Okay, there is a fluctuation in the trend in ionic radius. Why? Because you can see antimony and bismuth are having lower atomic radius because they have completely filled d and f orbital, and that's why due to the poor shielding effect their radius is small in comparison to these elements. Okay, due to completely filled d and f orbitals, you can write it due to poor shielding effect or due to poor shielding effect. Okay, poor shielding effect, remember this information. Due to poor shielding effect, antimony and bismuth are having lower atomic radius than nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic. You can see ionic radius of these elements does not follow this general trend. Okay, does not follow this general trend. Now let's discuss about the next physical properties. Next property is physical state of these elements. Physical state. Okay, physical state. The elements present in this group are nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth. These are the elements present. You can see nitrogen is present in the gaseous state, and rest of the elements are present in the solid state. But in case of phosphorus, you need to be careful. It is in solid state, but it is very unstable in the solid state. It easily evaporates in the gaseous state. That's why this phosphorus is stored in the water bottle. You can write easily evaporates and stored in water bottle. Okay, that's why it is stored in water bottle. Now next property we have metallic characters. In case of metallic character, we have seen as the n value increases, metallic character also increases. Means metallic character increases from top to bottom. Okay, because n value will be increasing from top to bottom. So the elements which are present at the bottom, they will be having metallic characters. Now let's talk about nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth. Okay, so you can see the elements which are present at the top, they are non-metal. Okay, they are non-metal. And the elements which are present in the middle, arsenic and antimony, they are metallites by nature. Okay, metallites. They show both properties, metallic as well as non-metallic. But bismuth we have at the last, at the bottom, extreme bottom of this group, it is metallic by nature. It is metal. Okay, so you can see nitrogen, phosphorus non-metal, arsenic, antimony metallites, and bismuth is metallic by nature. Now let's discuss about ionization enthalpy of these elements. The next physical property is ionization enthalpy. About ionization enthalpy, we have learned it is the amount of energy required to remove outermost shell electrons in a neutral gaseous atom. And we have also learned ionization enthalpy is directly proportional to nuclear charge and inversely proportional to size. As the size of element increases, ionization enthalpy decreases. Okay, it is directly proportional to nuclear charge. Higher the nuclear charge, higher is the ionization enthalpy. Okay, we have the elements in this group: nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth. Okay, you can see the size is increasing from left to right. That's why ionization enthalpy decreases from left to right. Okay, we have this is the ionization enthalpy trend in this group. Okay, if you look at the electronic configuration of these group elements, let's say we have nitrogen. Atomic number of nitrogen is 7. Outermost cell electronic configuration for this element is 2s2 and it is 2p3. Okay, you can see s orbital is completely filled, but you can see p orbital is partially filled, half filled. Okay, it is half filled. Due to half filled orbital, it is in the stable state. Okay, it is in the partially stable state. This is the reason when we compare the ionization enthalpy of group 15 with group 14 elements. Group 14 elements means carbon family. Okay, So you can see nitrogen family elements are more stable due to partially filled outermost shell. That's why they have higher ionization enthalpy than carbon family. Higher is the stability, higher is the ionization enthalpy. Okay, so we have the ionization enthalpy. Group 15 elements have a higher ionization enthalpy than group 14 elements due to partially stable. Okay, these elements are partially stable due to half filled orbitals, outermost orbital. Okay, now when we talk about first ionization enthalpy, second as well as third ionization enthalpy, so first ionization enthalpy is lesser than second ionization enthalpy and it is lesser than third ionization enthalpy. As we keep on removing innermost electrons, more amount of energy is required. Okay, now we talk about electronegativity. We can see we have electronegativity. Electronegativity is also having the similar trend. Electronegativity. Okay, electronegativity is also directly proportional to the nuclear charge and inversely proportional to the size. As the size of group elements increases, you can see electronegativity means tendency of pulling electron decreases. Okay, we have nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Okay, you can see nitrogen is having the smallest size, that's why it will be having highest electronegativity in this group of 15 elements. Okay, then phosphorus, then we have arsenic. Keep in mind antimony and bismuth have same electronegativity because due to the larger size. As the size increases, the difference between the electronegativity of these elements decreases. Okay, in this group elements you can see nitrogen is the highly electronegative elements. Now let's discuss about the next physical properties. Next property is boiling point. About the boiling point we have learned in journal, as the molecular weight increases, intermolecular force increases and then boiling point increases. Okay, but there is a fluctuation in group of 15 elements. You can see if you move from left to right, okay, in this orders, you can see nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, atomic number is increasing, atomic weight is also increasing. You can see boiling point is also increasing, but you can see here we have the fluctuation. Okay, this fluctuation you can explain by the shielding effect. Okay, due to the poor shielding effect, bismuth is having more poor shielding effect than antimony, that's why it is having the fluctuation in the boiling point. Same fluctuation is observed in the melting point also. Nitrogen, phosphorus, you can see bismuth is coming in the middle, then antimony, and then we have arsenic. Keep in mind, this trend. You can memorize this trend. This is based on the data we have in NCERT. From there we have got. Now we talk about the density. Density is equal to what? Mass by volume. As the atomic mass of element increases, density also increases. Higher is the atomic weight, higher is the density. You can see the atomic weight of these elements increases from top to bottom. That's why density also of these elements increases from top to bottom, increasing orders. Density increases from top to bottom. Okay, now let's discuss about the next physical property. Next we have catenation property. Catenation means a self-linkage. It is the tendency of an element to combine with the same element, okay, to form a linkage, like a carbon chain. Okay, carbon in the entire periodic table has greatest tendency for the catenation. Okay, has greatest tendency for the catenation. Keep in mind, higher is the bond strength, higher is the catenation property. Catenation is inversely proportional to the size. Okay, as the size of element increases, bond strength decreases and catenation property also decreases. Okay, this is the reason the elements which are present at the top of the group, have a higher tendency for the catenation, for the self linkage. Now we talk about the nitrogen. We have a compound, it is N2NH4. It can be also written as NH2 or NH2. Okay, if I draw the structure nitrogen, you can see self linkage is there. Okay, nitrogen is connected, same element is connected. Okay, self linkage, catenation, this is known as catenation property. I have one more compound, this is hydrogen, and then we have it is N3H. This is hydroxoic acid. Okay, if you draw the structure nitrogen, triple bond and nitrogen lone pairs. Nitrogen forming more than 3 bond will have positive charge. Nitrogen forming less than 3 bond will have negative charge. Okay, You can see nitrogen linkage is there. Now we have the phosphorus. Keep in mind, phosphorus, despite the fact being larger in size than nitrogen, has greater tendency for the catenation than nitrogen. Why it is so? Because if you look at strength of, better I write here, phosphorus has greater tendency for catenation than nitrogen due to, you can write the reason, due to the strength of phosphorus to phosphorus bond is greater than nitrogen to nitrogen bond, greater than that of, you can write, than that of nitrogen to nitrogen bond. Okay, reason is that nitrogen is a small atom, okay, lone pair are there. Okay, when linkage is there, you can see lone pairs are closer. We have the lone pairs, and these lone pair cause repulsion, because when these atoms are small, so that's why these lone pair are closer to each other, they cause repulsion, so strain will be there, so this bond become weak. But in case of phosphorus, lone pair is there, phosphorus linkage can be there, but size is larger, that's why lone pair repulsion is very less in case of phosphorus. Okay, in case of phosphorus, that is why the linkage formed by the phosphorus is durable, stable, and this is the reason it is having higher tendency for the catenation than, and more stable linkage is formed. Okay, this is the catenation property. If we talk about the oxo acids, in the coming topics we will learn about the oxo acids of phosphorus. There you will see phosphorus linkage. Okay, now let's discuss about the next property, that is allotropes. The next property is allotropes. Okay, it is the property of element which exist in two or more different forms in the same phase. Okay, arrangement of atoms remains same and the phase is maintained same. Okay, for example, carbon graphite, carbon diamond, arrangement of atom is different, that's why they show different physical properties, but the phase remains same, both are in the solid state. Okay, now you can see the statement which I have written at the top, except nitrogen, rest of the elements in this group show allotropes, means phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth will show allotropes. It is given according to NCERT, but it does not specify, it does not mention the allotropes. But if you go for the reference book, other reference book, allotropes of nitrogen are given. In NCERT it says allotropes of nitrogen are not there. Okay, bismuth also shows allotropes, but it does not mention what are the allotropes are present for the bismuth. But in other reference book, it is given nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony show allotropes, but bismuth does not show any allotropes. Okay, there is some contradiction, but I have mentioned the detail over here. Nitrogen is having two allotropes. Alpha nitrogen, it is having cubic structure, and beta nitrogen, it is having hexagonal structures. When you talk about the phosphorus, you can see how many allotropes are there. Key allotropes are mentioned: red, white, black, scarlet and violet. Okay, they have different structure, different arrangement of atoms, that's why they show different physical as well as chemical properties. Okay, now we talk about arsenic is there. Arsenic, it is present in three allotropic forms, black, gray as well as yellow. And when we talk about antimony, it is alpha antimony and beta antimony. They are metallic by nature, okay. For bismuth we do not have any detail what are the allotropes present. Okay, so now we completed the physical properties of group 15 elements. In the next lecture we will discuss about the chemical properties of these group elements.